Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on the final part. I'm trying to get the little curly whirly straight. The final part of our dream catcher, a gorgeous. Now what you have on the final part, today we are making this little curly whirly thing that you see right here, which I called it, if you saw our live, I called it a but it's a curly whirly, all right? And we are also working on our butterfly. Plus, yours truly, the very last minute, decided to attach this little tiny little holder so that you can hold your, you can actually pop your dream catcher up on a little hook somewhere around your house, outside, in the front yard, the backyard, anywhere you like. Preferably this would be classified as an indoor dream catcher, only because it's put together by very thin threads here. It's quite thin. That's our dream catcher. We started this one the other day. That was part 1. These were part 2, and this is our final part today. All right, so all the parts will be located in a description box down below. So if you wanted to create the dream catcher before you do this final part of making the curly whirly and the butterfly and attaching it and making your little ring up the top there, then go ahead and attempt parts 1 and 2 and then join us back here to complete your dream catcher. So I'm very excited, guys. I'm not going to talk too much because once again, yes, it's a long tutorial. So I'm just going to let you get started on your dream catcher, but before you do, bring that out a little bit. Let me show you what you will need. You will need the same hook size you used to create your dream catcher. I'm sorry, that's not very good. Try that, that's better. A size 4mm hook. You will need your sewing weaving needle and you'll need your scissors. You will need your light color or whatever color you're using for your butterfly. You will need your yellow to finish off your hoop. You will also need the blue or whatever color you're using to make your curly whirly. And oops, I'm trying to straighten it up for you. And there you go. Oh no, it's still crooked. Try that. And anyway, so that's that. So I'm not going to talk anymore, guys. We are just going to get started with our final part of the dream catcher. Ah, very exciting. Enjoy, guys. Alrighty, guys. So you know where I'm coming from. This is the original that I came up with towards the end. Now I say that with respect that sometimes people think, oh, how do you come up with these patterns? Well, it starts off like that. Oh, shocking. Then we get to something like that. Oh, worse. Then I think, let's see if I can even it out a bit. No, nope, not good enough. Let's try it again. Oh, lopsided. I don't know what happened there. Then I did this one and thought, oh, I was pretty close. And then I did this one here and thought, that's it. That's the one we want. So just so you get it, and look, let me tell you the reason why. Let me show you your dream catcher ring. Okay, that's your dream catcher ring. So initially I wanted to do something small so it fits up the top and doesn't look over bulky. And that was what I initially came up with, a very small one. I thought, oh, it's so tiny. How am I going to get? It was a little lopsided as well. I thought, how am I going to get everybody to do this? And it didn't really look that good. So by the time I did my 5 different goes, or 6 different goes, I don't even know how many that was. I just kept going until I got it right. I ended up with that right there. It is a little bulky for this pattern, okay? But it does look better than those little ones that are all scrunched up and all lopsided. It's really hard to do something small on these stitches here. Very difficult. You would probably have to use a smaller size hook, which I'm using today, the 4, just so you can actually see the stitches. But if you wanted to make that smaller, instead of mucking around with the stitches and like I tried to reduce the stitches, which made it look a little lopsided like that kind of thing, right? Don't reduce the stitches. Reduce the size of your hook. It might come across really, really awkward to crochet at first, and it might come across tight, but once you get a little bit more professional at it, it will be better. So I'm going to do this size today just for your benefits. Otherwise I would probably, and I may even do a smaller size, like use a 3.mm hook rather than the 4 and attach it to this later. But for today I'm going to use the 4 just so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's not talk anymore, let's just do. All right, now for your tutorial here, you'll need to know some unusual stitches, okay? You will need to know, obviously, your chains, half doubles, your doubles, your half trebles, your trebles. There's a thing called double treble. I actually, in this particular piece, use a half double treble. It's awkward to say, but it's not that difficult to do once you get the hang of it. All right, and I'll try and make it as simple as possible, okay? We will need to start off with a magic ring or a magic circle or a magic loop, whatever you want to call it. So that is tail end in front. We've been doing that all along for this particular piece anyway. 3 fingers, wrap your working end over your fingers, forming yourself a cross, okay? Let's get a nice close-up so you can see what I'm doing. Pop your hook just under the first loop, pull the back loop up and over. See that back tail there? Pop it back. You've got to hold everything. It's a little bit awkward the first time you do it. We're going to chain 2, and a chain is just your yarn over your hook. Pull it through the loop once, and then we're going to do it twice. Easy step so far. Don't let go of your center. I'm just going to pull the tail a little bit. If you want to, you can, but we're going to pull it in the next stitch anyway. So your next stitch is a double crochet, yarn over your hook, pop your hook in the space. You're going over all your ends there, your tail end and everything. Yarn over your hook, pop up a loop. Now you've got to really hold everything there. Try not to let go. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2. Yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. Basic double crochet. Now you can give that tail end a little bit more of a tug. Just don't make it any smaller than your middle finger, okay? Your next stitch is your half treble. Now a treble, usually we put our yarn around our hook twice. With a half treble, we're going to do like we're doing a normal double crochet. Let me bring that up a bit so you can see. So just as you're doing a normal double crochet, which is your yarn over your hook, you're popping it in the center, you're pulling up a loop, and you've still got your 3 loops on your hook. This next step is different. It's yarn over your hook, pull through the first loop, okay? Then you've still got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2 loops. All right, now we're going to do that treble that I was talking about. So it's yarn over your hook twice, pop it in your center, pull a loop through. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2 loops, and now you should have 3. Yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2 loops, and there's 2. Yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2 loops. So it's actually elongated that stitch a little. Grab your tail end, give it a bit more of a tug, not too much. Now this next stitch is the half double treble that I was talking to you about. So you're popping your yarn over your hook twice, pop it in the space, and pull up a loop, all right? So like before, we just pulled through 2, and then pulled through the last 2. Now we're going to do it another way. We're going to put our yarn over your hook and pull it through just 1. All right? So you should still have 4 loops on your hook. Then you get your yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2, yarn over your hook, the next 2, yarn over your hook, the last 2. Very elongated, yes? Now you just chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We slip stitch into the center, and all you're doing is popping your hook in the center, pulling up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Don't yarn over anything, just pull that loop right through to that first loop, okay? Now just move everything over as though you're pushing it all into a corner, okay? Now you're chaining 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So see all this that you've just done? You're going to repeat it in the opposite direction. So now we're doing that half double treble that I talked about. So it's yarn over your hook twice, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over your hook, pull it through the first one. Yes, and you should still have 4 on your hook. It's a little bit fiddly. Yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2. Yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2. Yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. All right. If you want, you can give that center a tiny bit of a tug now. And now you're just doing your normal treble. So it's yarn over your hook twice, pop it in the space. You're still going over everything, so don't skip that section there. Keep going over it all. You've got 4 loops on your hook. yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. Now we're going to do a half treble. So we're still putting yarn over your hook like as if you're doing a double, popping it in the space, pulling up your loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through just the first loop, still 3 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. Your next stitch is your basic double crochet, which is yarn over your hook, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2, and yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. Now we are chaining 2. 1, 2, and you are going to slip stitch into that center, like we did before, pulling up a loop. So after every time we do one of these sets, we are slip stitching. So your next step is to chain 2. 1, 2, and then you put a normal double crochet in the center, yarn over your hook, do your double crochet, and you know this part, super easy. 2 and 2. Yeah. Now the next stitch is a half treble, but you've done one of those over here. It's a normal yarn over your hook, like you're going to do a double crochet, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through the first loop, still 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2 loops. All right, so now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into your center, and you've done that before, so that's easy. Just pull your work over a little bit. Just give your tail end a little bit of a tug, not too much, because you want to fit another set in there. And your next set is super easy because it's this one you've just done backwards. Okay, so you're chaining up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're doing your half treble again. Pop your yarn over your hook, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through just the first loop. You still have 3 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2. Now you do your double. Normal double crochet, very basic, very, very basic, yay. And then you chain 2. 1, 2, slip stitch into the center. You're going to love this part, guys. You're slip stitching it, pulling it through. Now, before you continue, just grab your little tail end for your center, pop it at the back, okay, and give it a really good tug, that center tail. And what it does is it's just closed up that little spot there. Yeah. Then you have to really pull tight on this thread now because it's closed up over the thread. All you're doing is pulling a loop through. Oops, grab your scissors, ta-da, and give it a tug. All right, now all you're doing is separating everything. Ta-da, and guess what? It's done. I know it seemed so difficult at first, but it actually isn't. Okay, now you actually really need to pull at the bottom center and at the top center. Ta-da, and there's your butterfly. All right, okay, so what we're going to do first is simply, and I say simply, okay, because it is simply, it's simple. This part is easy. You've done all this before. Now, that's your center. This is your, okay, we'll get a nice close-up so you know which one you're doing. That's the stitch that you've just slip stitched. That's the one at the very end, right? This is your first tail that you worked with sitting right in the center there. So you're going to quickly grab your needle and thread it. Okay, like so. Took a few goes there, didn't it? All right. So now, get a close up so you can see. The way the tail is it's coming from there. All right. We want to put it back into the center. It's coming out of there. We're going to keep going around as if we're still going in the round. All right. So pop it in your center, and you're just putting it through the thicknesses of that center right there, making sure you can't see your needle, and you can't. So then you pop it through there and just pull it through, give it a bit of a tug, and it'll close it up completely, that center. All right, so you haven't finished there because that can still come undone and you don't want that to come undone. So just go in the round, again making sure you cannot see it, the needle on the other side. like so. Giving it a tug, and the more you tug, the more this starts to come out, your sides start to come out, okay? So that's an added bonus, yeah? And then you go through just to the other side where you first started off with, very thick now. Well, it is for me, I don't know how it is for you guys, but it's very thick there. All right, so that's that. However, yours truly, oh, that's just not working there, it's pulling at me. There it goes, oh, that's right, there we go. So yours truly is not happy, because you know me, I'm very bit of a stickler in that area. I'm going to go back just a little bit in the opposite direction, just maybe through that one section. You don't have to go through all of them, just go through one. Get it going, that's it, I think. I don't know if you saw that last bit, but I didn't do anything, I just pulled it through. And there you go, that's your center complete. That's never going to come undone. It doesn't worry me too much because we are going to attach it to our piece, and we're going to do that right now. How do we do it, I hear you ask? Super easy, okay? Now there are many ways you can do this. This is one way. I try not to say this is the best way because it may not be the best way for you, but it's okay for me, all right? So where we ended off with this, sorry, move that out of the way, we slip stitched it to there. So what we're going to do, turn it to the wrong side, okay, because that's the side we worked on, so that's classified the right side. The wrong side is right at the back where it's all kind of bubbledy and whatever else have you. So separate your little guy here so you can see where you're going, and all you're doing is grabbing that tail end, popping it through any stitch at the back. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Any stitch at the back there, like so. Okay, easy. Then you are going to pop it further in to the back of your piece, going into that center if you can. If you can get into the center, that would be great. Like so. Straight into that center if you can. Try not to pull too tightly or your work will just bend. So just like that's perfect. Still playing with separating because it helps towards the end once we attach it. Okay, grab your little piece. Now, where do you put it on your piece? Okay, remember that how we ended and there was like a little tiny knot there? That is the center of your work, okay? You can put your butterfly anywhere you like. Let's just grab our other pieces from Friday's tutorial. Okay, that's how I'll want mine to go. There. And there's the love heart right there. It'll look like that. Then in the middle, I'll have a Curly Whirly. If you caught our live the other day, I'll pop a link in the description box down below. Very first link you see. If you caught the live, you'll hear me call it a It is not that. It is actually, as Margaret says, one of my subscribers, it's actually a curly whirly, which we are going to attach right in the middle, and it's going to go right all the way down. But for now, where to put your butterfly, you can pop it anywhere you like. You can pop it up the top if you like, there. You can pop it there. You can even pop it in the middle, but I think it ruins the pattern, so maybe don't put it in the middle. I'm just going to pop it on one of the sides, right there. Maybe a little bit up the top on the side or there. I reckon there's good. So we're going to move these guys out the way. By the way, you're going to be attaching all of these guys. So that little, today in this tutorial, so that little bit right there is where you're going to attach your curly whirly. All right, so just rough, that's your center. I'm going to pop it on the side, there or there. If you want to pop it up the top, you can. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going to pop it right there. No fuss. All right, so now you know where you're going to put your butterfly. There's your little center down there. You're going to put it up the top there, right there. So all you do is bring it down, grab your stitch right there and pop it through one of your stitches. Oh, can you see? Sorry about that. Just pop it through one of your stitches right there. All right, you're just popping your thread through and it will pull your butterfly into place. Now, making sure you adjust it before you continue. So if you left it like that, it's the wrong way. If that's not the way you want it, which is not the way I want it like that. You can put it any way you like, entirely up to you. Now, you've pulled it through one stitch, haven't you? Right? Close it up a bit. Now you've got to get it back into the butterfly, all right? You've pulled it through the stitch, you've got to get it back in the butterfly. You can put it anywhere you like. I find using some of the center, a little bit from the centerpiece right there, maybe two stitches or whatever. You don't have to put it through a lot, just a little bit. Give it a tug and it closes up your butterfly onto the piece. You don't want to close it up yet. What you want to do is pop it through another stitch right there. Yeah, you still don't want to close it up. You're just going to keep popping it through stitches until you find there's enough stitches on it to close it up. Because once you close it up, it attaches it to the piece, and you know you want to get as many up as you can. So what are you going to do? You're back through there again. You're going to find another spot in the other side, around the front, around the sides, whatever, but just in that middle 2 or 3 stitches. If this is helping, I hope this is helping. So don't pull it shut yet. You're going to pop it through yet again, another stitch. Okay. You can close it up now if you want. Just pull it tight. It might be okay to finish off, I think. Yeah, it might be okay to just finish off. Pop it through another centerpiece right there. I'm actually going around that center if that is helping you. You've gone halfway through. I would give my thread a bit of a tug, which will help us just to pop it in place. We're going to go back again. We're going to go back in the same places, but we're going to do the rest of that semicircle. It's kind of, we've kind of gone halfway through, haven't we? And we don't want to leave it like that. If we left it like that, it will be upside down and all over the place. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it tight, reshape your guy. You're going back the other way. So you're actually just going backwards. You've pulled it through there, yeah? You're going to go back through the first 2 threads that you see right there, or whatever. 2, 1, it doesn't matter how many you do. Pop it through, and it's closed it up more. But I'm not happy, we're going back in. Now this is a part where you need to just slide it through that way, okay? Except mine just came out. Try that again. So you just find a spot, slide it through, grab it, pull it through. Almost pulled it out of the needle. If you didn't leave yourself a long enough tail, just grab another piece of thread to do this part. Now doing this part means having to turn your work the other way and just going through your butterfly in the same direction as you were before. We're going backwards, that's all we're doing. We're going backwards. Well, backwards is the other way, isn't it? Sorry guys, just keep going backwards. Hello. I might do that a little bit more. I'm finding this is a little bit high up. So let's just do a little bit more. You don't need to, okay? But I think I will. So I'm going to go back into that space that we started with. Yep. Pulling it down. Actually, that helped a lot, see? It's kind of put it all into place. So now you're going to go back into the center, making sure you're getting into the center and not in your stitches, or it's going to start pulling your stitches. You don't want that. So if it helps, just go through the last bit that you went through there. There's no right, wrong, or way of doing this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back the other way, finally, back the other way. Let's try that again with it going back the other way. All right. You could have sewn this up with the yellow as well. Don't stress if you used another colour, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be able to see this, we hope. Now, you're there, you've got to find another stitch in the center right there to pull it through. All right, where am I? I'm there. Let's have a look at my butterfly. That's where I want my little, you know, curly whirly to be. There's my butterfly. Straightening everything up. It's kind of on an angle a bit. I'd like to move it this way a little bit. So what I'm going to do is bring it across this way. So you just maneuver it the way you like. Okay? I'm just going to pop it in one of the stitches. Again, a little bit fiddly. And then I'm just going to pop it through. I reckon we're done. But I'll pop it through there. Oops, through there. Nearly fell out. And that's it. I think we're done. Turn it around and just, you need to make a knot now. Find a place where you can make a knot. So I think right there is fine. How do you make a knot? Just grab your end a little bit. If you haven't got much end, just keep weaving in. Just keep weaving it in. I'm just going to make a little knot, just one little one, which is just looped around the needle and then pull the needle through. That's knotted. Now I'm just going to weave it in, backward and forward, a little bit in different sections so that you're not unraveling what you just did. Just weave in. Weaving in can be anything, you know, just going through stitches, going through the center, going through whatever you want. Okay? And we're done. Give your work a cut. Again, this was a fiddly bit. Nothing you can't handle, guys. You can do this. You can do this. Now just center your guy, play with him a little bit, bring him out. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame there. I'm always out of frame. Sorry, guys. Bring that back out again. Give him a little tug. Ta-da! He is attached. Perfect. I love, love, love. Now we're going to attach our love heart. Now, if you remember, let's put that out of the way for a second. If you remember correctly, I asked you to keep your tails. If you have weaved in your tails, then I suggest you grab 2 strands like this. I'm going to pop that there. So this is actually the middle of the love heart. Remember the middle section right there that we weaved over? I'm sorry, that we crocheted over. Get it right, Mary. All right. Once again, we're just going to pop it through a little bit because we need this thread to help us attach it. So I'm going to pop it through just that once. I might put it through a second time. I don't really want it to get undone. So keep going through that second time. You don't want this to come undone. This is cute. It's all cute, I know. Okay, going back the other way, just to give you a little bit more, it won't come undone at all, but just to give you a little bit more reinforcement. Now, this is the bit you have to be very careful with. We are going to bring that tail right up to here, so it's the same, in the same space as this one here, all right? So what you're doing is you are finding a stitch, any stitch that you like. The red is a little bit difficult to see, but you just pop it through some of the threads of the stitch. At the back, of course, we're working at the back, and through the actual stitch itself right there. So you've got your 2 threads on top. That's your slip stitch that we did, and there you go. So what we're going to do is take that needle undone. We'll need to pop it back on again later, but you've got your 2 threads and they're kind of separated. So what you want to do is tie them in a knot once, but make it a nice tight knot, being careful not to pull it too tight because that just twisted my work there. You don't want that. So you're tying it in a knot once, you're tying it in a knot the second time. Now this time here, if you pull it too tight, it's going to twist all your work. So just be wary and just give it enough tension there to just, there you go, all done. All right, so now your threads are attached. So all you need to do is attach them to your little guy. Oh, very easy. Now remember, this little butterfly is on an angle. We probably should have done the tail first so we could see the center, but there's your center. You need to decide, you need to decide how far up you want your little love heart to be. Now you're going to lose probably that much. All right, so it's going to be that short. So it'll be short. If you wanted to weave these in at the back and add 2 longer strands, if you wanted yours to be longer, then you can. I'm going to work with the shorter ones. This is a small dream catcher, so I don't want anything too long and bulky and, you know, awkward. This to me is perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do before I attach, they're not straight, but leave it at that for now, is you have to tie a little knot up the top like that, right? Leaving maybe that much, I don't know, a couple of fingers worth, I don't know, get your measuring tape if you want. Tie the knot, so you're actually making a knot, but you're making a long knot like that. So once you've tied that first knot, just give everything a straight edge. This needs to be straight. We might make it a little bit, that's it. Now it needs to be long enough to fit around there and tie in a knot as well. Now we are going to grab our little ring Now this is a part I probably could have done with a stitch marker, but never mind. This is a part where you need to decide how you want your centre. Now that's the centre piece. You count back how many stitches you like, okay? So when I say count back, there's your centre, bring it in front of you. Let's move that out of the way for a second so you can see. Okay, there's your centre, that's where our knot is, that's where our Curly Whirly little attachment's going to go, the one we're going to make in a minute. And you just see that's your stitch right there. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to pop it in the 8th one. You can pop it anywhere you like. Also, have a look at it. All right, just say you had your stitch marker, or even a piece of thread. You can attach a piece of thread there. Attach a piece of thread on the other side. There. On the other side, and attach a piece of thread there and think, is that wide enough? I really don't think it is. From that middle stitch to there, I'm going to go 2 more in. So I'm going to go 10, 9 and 10. Now what you do to one side, oops, I'll fix it up in a minute. Let's do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so now what you're going to do, this is the right side of your work. If you pull the tail in through here and knot it there, your knot will be on the outside. You want it on the inside. So just grab your hook, pop it through the other way. All right. So your right side is sticking, it's like as if you're popping your love heart in front and working backwards, if that makes sense. So turn your piece around like that. Grab one of your tail ends, pulling it through. Whoops. Try pulling it through, Mary. A little bit awkward, this part. Nothing you can't handle. All right. Now, grab the other one of your tail. Oh, that's so far away. I hope you're able to see that before. All I did was pull the loop through. Sorry, guys. Grab another tail end, and all you're doing is making a knot. That's it. That is all you're doing for this part. And all my ends have kind of frayed a little bit here. There's one knot. And there is another frayed knot. It really have frayed. All right, so there it is. But that's not finished yet, guys. So what you want to do, oh, spinning around a little bit. Yeah, what you want to do is pull that thread at the back and weave it at the back, which, you know, we can do quickly now, or you can do yourself. Now weaving, all you're doing, turning it around, just grab, I'll just show you one and you can do the other yourself. It doesn't matter. It's a little bit awkward. In fact, if I were you, I would just pop my needle through the back stitches like that first, in there. Oh, not through all those stitches, you don't want that. Just through a couple of stitches right there. Grab your little tail. That's why it pays to have longer tails. I should have made longer tails. Okay. Oof, fluff everywhere. And you're just popping your right there. Oh, a little bit tricky, that one. Sorry, guys. But it's a short thread. So what you're doing, you're popping it through the back like that. And all you're doing is, oh, pulling it through once. What that's doing is it's locking it all into place. You may have to rethread this part. Sorry, guys. And then just going back the other way. Yep, I pinned myself. Now just being careful, because yours truly, I just went off air for a second because I did pin myself there. You didn't see it. Okay, so now you're just rethreading again, popping a needle in the right section to rethread. Doesn't matter how you do it, it's really tight threading as you do. Yeah, if you're making yours, make yours longer so you don't have to do this all the time. And there you go. I'm not going to do any more after that. That's done. Because it's already knotted anyway, so it is not going to come undone. So all we're doing is cutting that thread like that. If you give it a big tug, it'll kind of sit into place. If not, just get it. There are scissors, cut it again. Be careful not to cut your work. And the rest will sort itself into place later. All right. Now this one here, you can go ahead and weave that in yourself. I'm not going to show you how to do that one because you know how to do it now because you've already done one. And there's your love heart attached. Don't forget to weave that bit there in. We're going to show you how to do the actual star itself. and all you're attaching it to is just one of those center pieces right there. Okay, so it's no big deal. So this one here is your middle piece. You're just going to remember, like we said before, we're going to go in once, and this is, for some reason, the star is a lot stronger than the heart, so I'm going to leave it just the once, and I'm going to go back in that other way because it's really tough, the star, so I'm not going to fuss too much with it. I should put that out the way so you can see what I'm doing. Just weaving in and out of the center. Now, nice little close-up. Again, what we're going to do is find some stitches somewhere to go in. It doesn't matter where, just anywhere, going in like that. Going in again. Well, this is the easy part, guys, because you've done the heart already. You can probably get away with doing this one yourself, but I just wanted to show you this part here again. You're going through any stitches you want. Okay, then you get to your top, and actually that one's not bad. I'd leave that. I wouldn't even bother, and I would just tie it in a knot like we did before. I've left the needle on just so that we can use the needle later to go over the ring. Okay, there's your little knot, nice and tight, not too much because you don't want to pull your work. Yeah, then you, like we did before, we tied a little knot up the top. I think this needle's going to come undone now. You know what, forget it. Take it undone. I tried, guys, I did. I really did. Now, the thing with this is you've got to be wary to keep your threads the same length, okay? So when you're attaching, they look the same. And if it's a tiny, oh, I'm sorry, if it's like a millimeter difference, you won't notice it, okay? So don't stress too much. Now, you've got to find your 10 stitch away. We're not going to tie that in that full knot yet. We're going to do that when we do this part. Remember, we counted 10 that way, 10 that way, and we're going to count 10 the other way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a little one right there. 9 and 10. So now you just grab one of these tails and you pull it through this way, like so. Yes. You tie it in a knot. Just get it right, Mary. You just tie it in a knot. This end is really small as well. All right, there you go. I would weave in all these ends before you add the curly whirly. Having said that, we haven't even created the curly whirly, so we're going to do that right now. And your big question is, what color would you like your curly whirly to be? Whatever color you like. Yours truly is using the blue that we used for our recent C2C Granny Summer blanket. If you want to make that blanket, I'll leave a link to that blanket in the description box down below. But in the meantime, we're going to make our curly whirly. All right, curly whirly, easy. You're just doing a quick slip knot. Yarn over your finger halfway, the other one all the way over. Pop your hook in, easy. Now, we're going to chain up 30. A chain is your yarn over your hook, pull it through the loop once, 2, 3, don't make these too tight, 4, 5, don't make them too loose either, 6, get it right, Mary, 7, 8, what do you want from us? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let me get some more thread. Okay, 20. Here we go. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So now we're going to do a half double. That's a yarn over your hook. You're going to skip your first chain right there, and your second, you're going to pop it in the third one, but you're only going to pop it in that top loop right there. All right, not both loops, just the top one right there. Okay, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through all 3 loops. You're going to do another one in there, 2 and 3. Ordinarily you would do 4, but you're counting that first 3 chains there that we had as your 4th one. All right, for your next one, you're doing 4 half doubles in your very next chain. Your very next chain is right next to it. being careful, let me get you close up so you can see. Being careful not to skip a stitch during this process, otherwise your curly whirly won't curl. Okay, so pop your hook in your very next stitch like that with 4 half double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're noticing this stitch is pulling, okay, and all you need to do is just grab your base and just give it a tug. All right, and it's best to do that because you won't see that very next stitch, which is hidden right there. You'll probably end up jumping into the next and you'll miss it. So you need to put 4 half double crochets in your next space. 2, 3, and 4. Once again, you're going to give it a tug. And by doing that, it's loosened it up and you can see that very next stitch, which is right there. 4 in there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, give it a tug. Jump into your next stitch, right next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're not happy with the curl and you want tighter curls, you can put 5, but that'll start going like that now, and it's already started. All right, so give your piece a tug again so you can find your next stitch, which is right in there. It gets a little bit difficult to find the stitch as you go along. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But as long as you keep pulling your work like that, you'll find your next stitch. All right, so I'm not going to let you watch me do the whole gazillion chains that we put on, right? So I want you to head off on your own, do your 4 in each chain until you get to your last 2 chains and meet me up here. Alrighty guys, this is where I got to. Okay, a couple of stitches left and it's looking gorgeous. How gorgeous is that? It does curl up, doesn't it? Alright, I think I have 2 stitches. Yes, I do. So we're going to do one more, just one more. So you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to pop a slip stitch, which is just put your hook in, pull a loop through, and pull the loop through on your hook. Then you just chain 1, pull up a loop, nice long tail, as long as you want to get it, preferably long enough to play with. All right, there you go. Okay, I did have an extra longer tails here. You didn't need to have that much. I just wanted that much to play with. You only need very little. All right, so with this one here, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, pop everything out the way. Like I said, we probably should have done this part here first. Sorry guys. So there you go. That is how long your little curly whirly will be. Gorgeous. All right, so that's where our knot is. Let me just turn it around for you so you can see. With this one here, because we have like really thick knotted it, instead of putting it through the stitch, you're better off getting it through all the thickness right there. That's going through the whole thickness. It's not going through the stitch, it's going through right in between the stitch, if that helps. All right, now grab your little blue threads. Okay, you really don't need this much thread. The blue one's a little bit different. We're going to pull it through the thickness there. Look through there. Well, I'm sorry, I'm really out of frame now, sorry. So you've pulled your thread through, pull it right up. Okay, now what you're going to do, just take it undone a little bit and make a knot around it. Okay, And all you're doing is pulling at your knot. So when you're up to this part here, just being wary, making sure your knot is right up to there. So when you are ready to start pulling at that, you want to make sure your knot is right up to the top there. All right. So because before I tried doing it earlier when I was off air and it didn't go right up to the top and it was awkward. Then you haven't finished. Do another knot. Oh, making sure you've popped it around there. And there you go again. And so your knot is kind of double knotted, if that makes any sense. And now I'm going to show you what you need to do with your little ends, but look at that. So now all you do with the blue end, you could weave it into there, or, see, it's a really big end, the blue one, okay, or you can weave it back into the blue, which I would actually prefer that you did. So grab your needle, and I'll just show you roughly how to do one, and then you can hop off air and do yours, okay? This is why it's better to weave these ends in first, so it's not too fiddly, this part. Okay, so now let's have a quick look-see. All right, you've already tied it up to the blue, right? I would actually work back into it, so you might have to turn it around to the back to do this part. Work back into your blue, like that, with one thread, and then just weave it into some of your stitches. Like into there. Not too much, because otherwise your curly whirly won't work. Just like 2 stitches or something, if that helps. And you're going to do the same with the other one. You're going to weave it into the same area. Again, only 2 stitches, because you've already knotted it. It's not going to come undone. Whoops, I've tightened it around the whole thing there. Anyway, being careful not to tighten up your curly whirly like I just did. That's all you need. You don't really need a lot because we have already knotted it. It's actually just to get rid of the end so you don't see it. And there you go. All right, what I would like for you to do off air is to weave in all your ends. But in the meantime, check out your little dream catcher. And again, if you have other things that you want to add up the top, to the side, whatever you can. Now, do we want to have something up here? Do you want to add another thread, like a little yellow thread? We do a couple of chains, which I think we will do actually, real quickly. Again, it's kind of got to match to that. It's kind of got to be in the center of that. But I would just go like that. Seriously, I would just go there, measure it up, pop your hook in one of the stitches, right there. No, don't pop it there. Count 3 back. 1, 2, 3. Pop it 3 back like that through the stitch. Grab, this probably would have been better to have done when we did the ring. I'm sorry I left that too late. Okay, and all you're doing is chaining. 1, 2, 3, say 4 maybe. Make it 5. All right. Make it 6. We're going for 7? No, okay, here we go. So pop that thread at the back. You're going to weave that in later. Skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and in your 5th one, you're going to slip stitch it into place. We probably should have done it before we added all our odds and ends. Sorry guys, I should have thought about this before. There you go. That's that. Now you're going to turn your work. Chain 1, nice and tight, and you are going to single crochet just around it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and whatever, 7. You can do as many as you like. I would do a lot. 8, 9, 10. In fact, I'll do double of what we've got. We did 6 from memory. I'm going to keep going. 11. Just pulling it all the way over for now. 12. I think 12 will do. What we do is we slip stitch into the same space that we just started with, making sure not to pull that thread out. So you slip stitch through like so. Now you're not finished there, guys. You're going to turn your work. No, I'm sorry. You're going to chain one. That way you're locking your other stitch in place there. Chain one. That's locking that thread in place. You're going to weave that in later anyway. Now turn your work. And over the stitches that you made, you're going to slip stitch all the way across. So pop your hook in, pull a loop through, and pull it through all the way across. How'd your slip stitching go, guys? I sped it up so you didn't have to watch me do it. But here we go. There's second last stitch. And your last stitch, which is right there. But you're not finished there, guys. All right, see that last space right there that we went into on the way back when we did our single crochets? We're going to go back in there with a slip stitch, pull it through the loop on your hook, and now you pull up a loop, give your work a cut. I hope you saw that because I noticed it just came out of frame a little bit there. And then what I want you to do is to weave in these ends at the back. All right, right at the back there. And you're going to do that off air because you're not going to sit there and watch me weaving in ends. You know how to do that now. Oh, your butterfly's all messed with now. So if you wanted to hang yours up right now, that's how it hangs. And there you go. Giving your work a big tug, getting everything in the space you want, making sure you are weaving in all your ends, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and do all those wonderful things that you guys do for me. And this Wednesday, join me this Wednesday for our live, which we will be discussing our little dream catcher and our future dream catcher, which is coming up. Oh, very exciting. So we'll be discussing that. And our, when I say future dream catcher, our bigger ones. Very, very exciting. We're only going to do one. So I'm just going to pick one out of the three to do. And that is your small dream catcher already done. With the larger dream catcher, we are going to work on something very different. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and do all those wonderful things that you do for me. I'm trying to get it all in the frame. Let's see if I can get it all in. There you go. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and ciao for now.